Guys, welcome back to Change Your Perspective, Change Your Awareness, Change Your Life. Dr. Michelina AF here, bringing you all the good news from #ThatFelonDoctor, my own experiences, what I've come to figure out through transition, through transformation, through genuinely getting to a place where I know myself to a degree that ain't nobody gonna tell me something new about me. I already fucking know it. Or I'm in the route to figuring it out all the time because I am always figuring out new things about myself, right? So we have a lot of people out there who don't know shit about themselves. This is really what this comes down to is if you don't know yourself, you don't know your worth, you don't know your value, you let other people give you that. They will ascribe worth and value to you. And so this week I want to talk about honesty because we need an honest self-reflection. Honesty is one of these really tricky. I'm tackling some of the hard ones right away. Integrity, honesty, what that looks like from a self-introspection level. And so when you're trying to get honest with yourself, it can be really tricky because you're like, well, am I kind? Am I compassionate? I don't know. Maybe. Right? Like we get to a place where we're so caught up in how other people have seen us our whole lives, or how other people have treated us our whole lives, or how we've shown up our whole lives, that we get to a place where we're like, I don't fucking know. So the first thing I always say when it comes to honesty is get honest with yourself about how you're probably not seeing yourself clearly. That's super important because most of us don't. There's this quote that I love. It's called, "The pickle in the jar can't read its own label." And it's that idea that like at the beginning of a thing, you're not going to be able to see yourself clearly. Like it's the most sort of strange paradigm. Getting self-aware requires somebody else to mirror, right? And so that's why I always love therapy, because it's like they're paid to tell you about you. Don't mind if you do, right? But again, I don't care what you do or don't do. You can ask people who are close to you. And again, this is the thing about going to other sources for information. They might not see you clearly either. But they're definitely going to see you more clearly than you see yourself as far as your positive attributes. I don't know why this is about ourselves. We are all our own worst enemy. We are all very good at being self-critics. It's like if I point out all of my flaws before someone else does, then I'm like safe in protecting myself. I don't know why we do this, but we do. I know I used to be the queen of it. So the first thing you have to do is figure out what is true for you. What is true about you? Get honest about your assets. I like to think of everything in terms of assets and liabilities. Everything has them, every person has them, every relationship has them, right? And I always like to be aware of the assets and the liabilities before I go into a thing. And so people will say like, oh, well, didn't you see all those red flags? Yes, I saw the possible liabilities and I decided the assets made more sense and we moved forward with the deal or the partnership. Same thing with like aggravating factors and mitigating factors, right? This is a thing, pros and cons. You have to know your strengths and weaknesses. You have to know your assets and liabilities. You have to know your pros and cons. Everybody has them. Get honest with yourself about them. It is one of the best, most serving things you can do for yourself and for anybody else that you get in a partnership with. And it's really easy once you get honest. Because it's just about like, all right, what are things that have always been true about me? A lot of people will go to things like zodiacs, horoscopes, enneagrams, personality tests. I love those as like assessments to some degree because it does tell you a little bit about you, right? The core foundational things of yourself. As an example, your girl is never going to be a meek, timid person. I know that about myself. I've never been meek. Now, I can be shy. I can be bashful. I can be quiet. But at the core of myself, I'm loud. I'm a loud ass person. Like, I make noises all the time. Like, I don't mean to, but I walk in a space and it's just loud. My energy is loud. I'm loud. My volume can get loud. I'm expressive. Like, I don't blend in. And I never have. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with anything. about who you are. It's just who you are. The only wrong about it is if you don't fucking acknowledge it and get aware of it. So if you're like, yeah, you know what, I am a little bit more reserved, I'm a little bit more shy, I am a little bit more, like chameleon-like, I do like to blend into the background. Well, on one hand, make sure that that's your actual state and not like some kind of response to not wanting to deal with conflict. See that a lot. People are like, oh, I'm a chameleon. It's like, yeah, no, you just don't want to deal with conflict. It's different. No, you're putting on masks depending on the circumstances. No, no, not true. But some people really are just genuinely more shy and reserved. My brother's like that. He's just a low-key, very chill dude. He's just very even-keeled, very go with the flow. My brother's like the exact opposite of me in that way, shape, and form. And so what is fundamentally true about you? Ask people who are close to you, who are as unbiased as possible, right? Think about yourself in ways that you've, always shown up. I am a serious person. I've never not been serious. Like, I'm not fun. I'm not fun. Like, I keep people around me who are fun because I'm fucking not. Like, anybody who knows me knows I'm the serious one in the group. I'm the mom of the group. I'm the one, like, I can be fun and I can be crazy and I can go out and do things, but like, it's not my normal pattern. Like, fundamentally, I'm kind of like a serious book nerd, And so I need people around me to bring me out of myself a lot of times. Like, they have to be more fun than I am. I know that about myself. That's fundamentally always been there. I've always been responsible. I like to be responsible. I like to be serious, right? Those are things that are true for me. Now, there's other things that I thought I was. This one was really tricky. And I wasn't at all. So, like, loyal. Loyal was one of those things that I was like, oh, I'm a loyal person. No, the fuck I wasn't. I wasn't loyal to anybody but my damn self. That was a hard pill for me to swallow. And I got very honest with myself. Listen, when you're sitting in a jail cell, you don't get more honest self-reflection than that, right? Because it's like, what did I do here? If I was actually loyal, I would have never involved myself in an emotional affair because I was dating somebody. So obviously I wasn't loyal, right? The facts are there. It's like, oh shit. Doesn't mean I don't want to be loyal. It means I absolutely did not act in accordance with that. So I'm really not showing up as that. So can I really be that? So that's why honesty is so important. Honesty is one of those things that the more honest you can get with yourself, the better service you do to yourself. The problem is, and we're going to be talking about honesty all week, but people don't like to be honest with themselves. The truth fucking hurts. Looking at ourselves critically hurts. And it's like, damn, like, this really sucks. Now, for me, it kind of got easy because it was like, the whole world thinks I'm a villain, am I? Right? It's very easy when you're put against the blackest of the blackguards. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's easy. I'm like, all right, the whole world thinks I'm a criminal. The whole world thinks I'm a pedophile. The whole world thinks I'm fucking the scum of the earth. Is it true? That's an easy standard to put yourself against, right? I've always kind of gotten the lower end of the spectrum stuff. The whole world thinks I'm a slut. Fine, right? Am I? A lot of the times, we put ourselves on a pedestal, or other people put us on a pedestal, and it's like, oh, well, look at me, I'm this teacher. Like, look at me, I'm this doctor. Look at me, I'm this thing, right? And it's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, like, that's nothing. Like, what that actually means about you is, maybe you're caretaking, maybe you're responsible, maybe you are academic, maybe you are fair-minded, right? Your profession could be an indicator of some of the true things about you, right? And if you were watching last week, I talked a little bit about roles and expectations and showing up in integrity to yourself and why some roles are easier than others. So go back to last week if you want to hear more about that. But ultimately, getting honest with yourself is one of the most important and one of the most difficult things you can do. And so I'll talk more about how to get into that and what to do and how to make that work more for you. But we're talking honesty this week. Get comfortable with the fact that you're not perfect. Get comfortable with the fact that you've got assets and liabilities. Get comfortable with the fact that sometimes you're dope and sometimes you suck. Like, you're human, you're a mixed bag. once you get comfortable with that and you get like a realistic perspective on it, it'll get easier to get honest with yourself, because it's like, oh, I don't have this perfectionist standard. Of course I'm gonna have some not desirable qualities. Like, that's makes sense, right? That is why we are here on Change Your Perspective, Change Your Awareness, Change Your Life. Once you change your perspective, you can change your awareness, and then you can change your fucking life. Change your perspective on perfection. You're not perfect. You're going to fuck up. Get honest with yourself. Then you can change your awareness. There are ways in which I will be bringing this to you. Also, www.completelyfeked.vhx.tv has a course there that will 10x everything, give you more practical application, more things like this. And then also, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, and be bringing more content to you here. If you like what you're hearing, like, subscribe, hit the bell, tell your friends, grow the channel. And if you don't, then hey, pop off, because someone else will teach you somewhere else and it won't be me. See you guys later.